I decided I would make an update to my Logitech G29 shifter setup video that I made a while ago. I rambled a lot in that video. It was one of the first videos I ever really made and uploaded, so I decided that I could just make a better one. But first off, I want to mention something that I think all new players should know. It is just a quick tip with the steering. The default steering in SnowRunner will not right your wheels automatically when you let go of the analog stick when using a controller. So if I have my wheels all the way to the right like this and I let go of the stick, mine actually automatically right themselves back straight. And the way that you can set yours up to do that is you just want to go into your settings right here in under Game tab, the steering mode, just set it to steering wheel. It will be default to controller, and as you can see, when I turn the wheels and let go of the stick, they just stay that way. They don't turn back by themselves. I have to turn it back by itself, which to me just doesn't make sense. So you set it to steering wheel and you do it, they will automatically right themselves back straight. It makes playing the game with a controller so much better, and I don't really understand why it's that way. It just seems very counterintuitive, and it even says right there that a steering input is applied directly, intended to use with the steering wheel, will cause automatic wheel centering if this mode is used with a controller. It just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know if it was intended. I mean, obviously it was intended to be that way, but like I don't know if they intended you to turn this setting on so that you could have automatic wheel centering. I don't know. It's just weird. The only reason I even figured it out was because I play with the wheel sometimes, and sometimes I don't. And the setting just stays. So like one time I was playing with the controller, and my wheels were auto centering, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like I don't know. So just quick tip: make sure you change that setting, and it'll make driving a lot easier for you, especially when you're using a controller. And you'll never have to change it back. You can always just leave it at steering wheel. Now, when it comes to the actual steering wheel setup, if you are using a Logitech G29, make sure you are using Common Console preset. Do not use the Thrustmaster or Fanatec. I mean, they will still work, but the enter arrow, weird looking circular big button with the mine has a red ring. If you don't have the G29, you may not have a red spinny ring around yours. But that center button opens the map, and if you don't have yours on Common Console preset, that center button won't work. So make sure you have it on Common Console preset. You can pause here to see if you want to set your wheel settings up like this, like all the wheel sensitivity, force feedback, all that stuff. I think it's pretty nice. It's not too aggressive. It feels okay. Maybe not quite like you're driving a truck, but it feels pretty good. Now, when it comes to the shifter mapping for the add-on Logitech shifter, you can see here all the buttons. That's just, the mumbo jumbo from the game that it chooses when you use the actual buttons to set the shifters. I mean, I couldn't have told you which buttons they are, but anyway, it's just when you go to map them and you put it in the spot you want it to be, it's going to choose that button, obviously. Now, the way I have mine set up is first gear is low minus, second gear is low, third gear is low plus, fourth gear is auto, fifth gear is high, and sixth gear is actually reverse. Now, if you've ever driven a manual transmission car, you will know that most of the time to get into reverse, you either have to pull up on like a collar around the shifter or push down and go over to reverse in order to get into reverse, and that's actually where I map neutral. It's just it was an available one left, and I figured I'd map neutral to something. Not that I think I've ever really used neutral in this game. I just kind of wanted it to be mapped, so I put it in the reverse spot. So anyway, it just makes it nicer, especially if you need to shift to low real quick because you're going downhill too fast, especially on ice. The low really helps on ice going downhill, so you stop sliding, etc. But then after you shift it into a gear, like it actually changes when you go into the gear slot on the shifter. It doesn't do anything when you push it back to neutral. So usually when I put it in auto, I'll put it back in the neutral position. So then if I need to go to low, I just have to go over to second gear really easily. I don't have to like move up and then over. Like it's just, it's just kind of how I've accustomed myself to playing it. Feel free to set your gears up any way you want. I mean, obviously my way may not work for you, but it's just the way I've always done it. It's the way I've had mine set up, so I'm used to it. When you go to map it, just have your shifter in the neutral position, select the gear you want to map, and then move it to that spot on the shifter, and it will take that input. It is unfortunate that there is still no manual shifting in this game. Like you can't fully manual through your gears. That would be great if you could, but you can't. But this way, it at least gives you a little bit more control over your shifting, and you don't have to hold the clutch either when you are shifting gears. You can just move the stick over into whichever spot you need to be, and it just shifts. You don't have to actually hold the clutch down to do it. So, again, it's just a nice thing. Also, the clutch pedal on the pedal actually works as the clutch too, so that's another little handy thing you can do. But not that I ever use that. I usually always just use this if I need to turn on all-wheel drive or headlights, diff lock, whatever. So anyway, I hope that helps you. If it did, leave a like and definitely subscribe if you want to. I have some other tips videos and some other SnowRunner videos, and I also have been playing SnowRunner in the later regions that I just started recording recently. My previous regions, like the vanilla regions and the other previous regions before a mirror, I do not have any recordings of because I didn't record and upload to YouTube at that time. But I decided to start doing it, and I'm really enjoying it. I love this game. It's a lot of fun, and I hope other people can get into it as well. One other quick thing to note when you're using a steering wheel is always have a controller handy and on and active so that you can use your map, because you do not have very good map controls with the steering wheel. You can't move the map around, you can't zoom. You can navigate the menu up here with your wheel, and you can open the map with the wheel. But aside from that, you can't do a whole lot else. So just have a controller out, and it switches pretty seamlessly. Like you can see here, the buttons on the side is showing my controller. But if I touch a pedal or touch anything on the wheel, it automatically switches to the wheel, and I can use the wheel again. If I touch something on the controller, it automatically switches back to the controller. So controller for camera, map, anything like that, and then driving and everything else you can just easily do with the wheel. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you check out some of my other videos. Have a good one.